Good morning. Good morning. So, this morning, I listen to stuff while I'm getting ready for work. Listen to Sam Cedar, Majority Report, talking about what is it? The curse of dying of whiteness, yes. And it's amazing that I came across that because, I've been having this discussion with people I know and love and care about the pandemic. And people not taking it seriously, and this joke is mocking, ha ha ha, wearing a mask makes you soft, and how frustrating it is. And I've talked about how Europe has banned Americans. I celebrate that. I do. Not all Americans are like that, because look at me. But there is a thing out there. It exists of I'm not going to cooperate. I refuse to cooperate. I don't trust science. I don't completely trust science. I don't respect science. That's the word I should use. That's what it is. So this gentleman was talking about health insurance in the South. I think it's like 4 different states. I think he was from the Midwest. So I think a bit of it was on the Midwest, if I'm not mistaken. Kansas and Missouri. And it was just showing how like those states had cut health insurance. Tennessee and Kansas. It was talking about how those states had cut health insurance. And how, very quickly things fell apart in those states. And they were talking about how, he gave an example of, there was a guy that had cut money to the schools and the roads. And he was like, very quickly, Kansas became like in the 40s. Like a very low rung of education. Like he said a year or two, very quickly. That happened, and he was just showing some things there, but he got into something that really touched me. How there's people who, when you talk to them about socialized health care or whatever, they're like, this is gonna help. I don't want to help the hood rats. I don't want to help the Mexicans. I don't want to help all of that. And in one example, the guy actually died. The guy had like some kind of lung problems, and he was sick, very sick, and yet he was willing to die rather than have a public service set up that may have prolonged his life, may have gave him less pain. And that hit me. Sam has talked about this, making mockery of egalitarian, anything that you can be a part of, that like the fact that you had a chance to deny or somehow discourage egalitarianism, rednecks, they celebrate that. Like they can have a better world. They choose not to. It's not by mistake. It's not by fluke. And they're willing to die sooner. They're willing to have more health problems. They're willing to have that in order to not having a better world. And I say it very often, a better world is possible, not with rednecks. And that to me, I had never had nobody look at it like that. That's one of them things I really want to sink my teeth in, dying of whiteness. That was it. That was very interesting. And it goes back to something I've been saying since the beginning of this pandemic. Well, not the beginning, for the last couple of months I've been saying that I'm living with the death cult. I'm living with people who will look, deny science. That all these scientists are they went through multiple college degrees just to go fool a redneck. To go fool some redneck in the backwoods Alabama. That's why I found you got his degrees. You're right, man. Just to fool some dumbass. You're right. You are totally right. And I talk often with you guys about how this rationale, it doesn't make sense, but it doesn't have to make sense. That's the point. It doesn't make sense. It's a politics of cruelty. It's and it's funny because now we've had Trump and we've had this, the Mexicans and the blacks and making jokes on people and insulting people, and it's like that book or that topic is more timely than ever. There are certain topics they talk about on that show I don't like. But then there's some topics they put on that show where it's like, I have to go back and watch it. And then I gotta research it. Like I'm like, I actually want to, get this book. Like, whoa, let me see what they got. it's sometimes where it's like that, you know. And that's not just political. That's a sociological thing, and that's a cruelty thing. You know that you know, rednecks have a simplistic view of the world too. You know, I didn't understand the connection between more gun ownership and suicides. I wasn't aware of that. You know, that kind of touched me too. Yeah, it did. It kind of touched me as well. Yeah, but you know, that's kind of sad that you have people who are living in the system, and that's why I love California so much, and I've talked about it how in the South, rednecks, they make life hard. Like, they go out of their way to make life hard and overcomplicate things and talk down to you. And when I went to California, and you know, just, you don't know what I'm talking about until you leave the South. How rednecks, like, they make stuff hard. They just do. And it's always been like that. They just go out of their way to like make shit hard, make laws on how they feel about gay people or whatever. Just none of it's based on science. It doesn't have to be. None of it's based on any kind of empirical evidence. It doesn't have to be. It's just based on cruelty. Just based on cruelty. And that, you know, as time goes on, I look at cryptocurrencies and things like that, and it does feel like the world is leaving the South behind. Like, with Trump, the South kind of made a statement about, you know, not just the South, the Midwest as well. They made a statement about what they want and what they see in society and the way they want society to go. And it does seem like the rest of the world is like, okay, we're going to leave you guys over there. Like that, I feel that way. Maybe that doesn't make sense. Maybe that's crazy, but I've gotten that feeling that, like, America, like, rural areas and all that, you're on your own. You know, you either keep up or you're lost. And that's the death cult stuff. The left is out to get us. The left is doing this. There is no organized left. We don't have any power. We never did. Who were the billionaires? Who were the Rockefellers? Who was Henry Ford? These are extreme white supremacists. Read that newspaper that Henry Ford had. What was it, the Reader or whatever? He hated Jews. These men were extreme white. Look at the history of a lot of these corporations that you know about. Ford or Hugo Boss and a lot of other ones. They were connected to the Nazis. You know, so there is no history of the left. You know, that's another stereotype of the gay, effeminate, liberal, intellectual. Like that's not. It's just not real. Anyway.